I admit I'm not a professional reviewer. And that's the thing about opinion. Opinions can actually form as the events occur. Sometimes initial first glances at something are true at that time, and then they kind of change the more perspective you get on it. And I don't know, sometimes shit happens. I am here, and I have been thinking about Batwoman Detective Comics for quite some time. Ever since I gave my first review of it in issue 854, I didn't particularly care too much for it. I think I gave it 2 RAM chips, and I'll actually put a link. I'll find the video, and I'll put a link over to the side so you can watch the original review. And I love the art, and I love the idea of the character. I just didn't see anything really new, and you know what? I'm beginning to think what fueled a lot of my discontent with the first issue and the character was a frustration, I think, of losing Bruce Wayne and Cassandra Cain pretty much almost back to back. And having this new character thrown in my face and practically being told, you're going to love her. And I usually don't respond well to that. I like to love characters on my own. But, you know, I've been thinking about Cassandra, actually, and it took me 13 issues to fall in love with the character. I liked the character a lot initially. And then it was issue 13 where I thought, okay, I'm sold. I think I should have gave this character a few more issues. I felt like I gave her enough because she was in 52, but I should have gave her enough time in her own series to develop. Well, let's talk some comics. I've been periodically looking at the issues once they come out, and I see different reviews of people who I respect really love the series, so I thought, you know, let me just go back and check out the back issues. And you know what? I'm convinced. It's a really good series. I actually, I've warmed up to it a lot. Let me just review the first few. Batwoman Detective Comics 854, 855, 856, and 857. That's the initial story arc involving her fight with a new villain, Alice, who, let's see, she's running, what, the Religion of Crime is what they call themselves, which is, by the way, a pretty cool name. I love Williams' art. I think his work is just stunning, and I think it's almost groundbreaking, actually. It reminds me a lot of what Steranko did with the Nick Fury stuff in the 60s. And I've seen his work before, but I think this has been his chance to really kind of cut loose. And I see him experiment with styles here and there, and specific panels and panel layouts. It's stunning work. And Rucka's, I've enjoyed Rucka's work in the past. I loved his run on Wonder Woman, Queen and Country, Whiteout, I think he did, and also his previous run on Detective Comics with Batman. And he really puts together a really good kind of tight thriller just with superheroes. And the character in Alice he created, which, yeah, it's one more... it's one more public domain character that we can just name a villain after, but she doesn't really seem too much like Alice, although maybe the way she speaks is kind of in term of maybe a Lewis Carroll kind of type. But she's a really fascinating villain, and I think she falls in line with the Gotham villains pretty well. I think she's threatening and scary and actually kind of a beautiful looking character. And you know what, I was just thinking when I was rereading these, that Gotham really doesn't have any serious female villains right now. I know what you're saying. What about Catwoman and Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn? Well, they're all kind of playing sort of good guys right now, and I can't really think of anybody really right now that's a hardcore threat. Um, and she, to me, is a hardcore threat. She is batshit crazy and very violent and very smart. She definitely has her sister's intelligence. Oops, what did I say? I noticed also something else that, well, you know, I think everybody pretty much knows the connection between her and Batwoman. I find it interesting that Cassandra Cain Batgirl and Catherine Cain Batgirl have, well, two things in common. First, their last name. And two, their main villains are relatives. I wonder what that says about modern age. I do find that interesting. And the first story arc is terrific. Alice is a terrific villain. I love it, and I'm very curious to see what became of her. Why did she go insane? Now, also, the second story arc cover, it's actually, I'm not sure if it's completely finished. It's covering her background, her origin story, which gives me a little more detail into the character. I also love, you know, I was reading this and I thought, oh, I guess they got a secondary artist to do the backgrounds, but no, this is all Williams. It's very good. It looks like Lee Week's work, or some others' art style. Just terrific. I'm very impressed. And also, I do like the origin, basically setting Batwoman up. She has the common thread of most of the Bat heroes is that you know, she lost family members in a tragic experience, but she also has the added fact that she tried to do the right thing and joined the military to serve, but she was kicked out because she's gay, and you know, of course, that's worse than terrorism. But she refused to tell a lie, and she suffered for it. Now this is her new way of figuring out how to serve and be herself, and it's pretty smart, actually. It's really well done. Now, also, the backup story's been really terrific too. Now, I love Montoya ever since she debuted as a character, and even though I'm not quite crazy about her taking up the mantle of the Question, I really was starting to love Vic Sage when they killed him off. And I'm not sure if she quite fits in that model, but you know what? I like her as the detective hero in that kind of vein of Roy Scheidt and Question and The Spirit and stuff. I think she fits very well into that. And also, reading her backup stories dealing with contraband and the sex slave trade, it's kind of dawned on me that I haven't really read too many superhero books that are doing real-life kind of storylines lately. Everything seems to be so big lately about revenge and crossovers and zombies and you know, villains in charge of, you know, government facilities and stuff like that. Everything seems, you know, revenge, big. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of small stuff that's kind of just been missing. So there, I'm back on Detective Comics. I'm interested in seeing what's going on, and the characters have really grown on me. So I'm going to give both story arcs 5 RAM chips. They're both worth checking out. If you didn't bother checking them out because of my early reviews, I apologize. You should take a look too. Until then, push the button, Lindsay.